Just sitting here on Sunday morning, 20th of January 2019. I've had a nervous mental breakdown. I wouldn't even know what day it was today if I had not have turned on my television and saw the date on the screen. I'm also fighting giving up two addictions, alcohol and cigarettes, and I'm taking on both addictions at the same time. I've got cigarettes in my cupboard and I've got alcohol in my fridge, and I'm resisting both of them. I have been doing since Thursday of last week. Can't seem to wash at the moment, just can't bring myself to wash or do anything, so I'm simply making a video of my past careers in life and remembering my experiences. Because when a person works, they always keep their experiences for the rest of their life. So, first of all, I used to go to Seven Kings High School in Albury Road South, and then Seven Kings High School in Leigh Street. That's where I started my school work experience. I worked at Goodmayes Psychiatric Hospital doing school work experience. In the library, the lady who ran the volunteer services was called Faye Weller. I worked for her on physiotherapy in the morning, next to the welfare department. Then in the afternoon, I worked on Rosemary ward, an acute adult chronic psychiatric ward, which was outside of Goodmayes Hospital, in the grounds, but nowadays where the big King George Hospital car park would be. Some afternoons I'd work on Florence ward with geriatrics. So I gained quite a lot of experience in caring for other people. Then after the Goodmayes Hospital work experience, I worked at the Kenneth Moore Theatre in the kitchens and occasionally as a cashier. After I completed that work experience, I did school work experience at Ilford Town Hall. I worked in the kitchens with over 20 ladies in their late 30s and 40s. And then on occasion I worked with Ilford Town Hall catering manager, learning how to cook all types of different foods. Then after I left school, I worked at, my first job was McDonald's in Ilford, where I became a crew member, learned all the aspects of cooking, everything there. Then after that, I worked as not straight away, but I worked as pub chef at the Valentine pub in Gants Hill. I was taken on as a trainee cook, but when I first started there was a black female cook, and she had a black female kitchen assistant. And I was, as stated, I was taken on as a trainee cook, but this female cook, she had me doing the washing up and the drying all the time of all the plates for about 3 months. And on lunch breaks, she and her kitchen assistant could sit down and cook themselves a meal and not tell anyone and just sit there and eat that. And if I wanted to cook myself something, or if I wanted them to cook me something, then they would charge me for that. So basically, which was totally wrong, was later found out. So basically, in those 3 months, I was doing the washing up and the drying because the dishwasher wasn't working at the time for 3 months. And I was also turning around and I was clocking out and sussing all the different meals the cook was cooking and the kitchen assistant from her bay, what she was doing as well. Now, just after 3 months, I spoke to one of the female bar staff, and she said to me, she goes, "What's going on? Why are you so paid off?" I said, "Because I've been taken on as a cook, and the cook has had me doing the washing up and the drying and greasing the floor for the past 3 months." So anyway, she told the manager, and the manager come and spoke to me. He said, "Look, come in early tomorrow. I'm sacking a pair of them. As soon as tickets start coming through the machine, I'll send Delia, a bar staff member, up to show you what to do." Now, the following day, he did what he said and sacked them. 10 tickets came through the machine that morning. By the time this female bar staff member came up, I had the entire lot, fully all cooked, all different types of varieties of meals, all cooked, some under the hot plates and the rest in a dummy lift going down for the customers. I eventually lived in there, worked there for about 3 years. After that, I trained at the Royal London Hospital Training and Development Department. I did my pink MVQ folder, firstly in basic general nursing, on general nursing wards, but then I opted into psychiatric nursing and did level 2 and 3 in MVQ psychiatric nursing, where I went on to work on Dundee ward at St Clement's Hospital in Bow, and then I worked on the intensive therapy unit in Bow. This lasted for several years, and then after that I worked for Canon's Security Services, which used to be based in Wanstead. I worked at St Thomas's Hospital in London, Lambeth Palace Road, and that was good. I was responsible for clearing out over 200 drunken students from the student accommodation block some nights. There was 3 of us guards on. One of us had to do an outside perimeter patrol all around the back of the hospital medical school, all up Lambeth Palace Road to the Archbishop of Canterbury's house, and then Kramer and Rectory doctors and nurses' homes. That was each night, every single hour. And then sometimes of a night we'd change shifts with the other guards and do an internal patrol of Block 9 and an animal house, which was where they did experiments on animals on the roof of St Thomas's Hospital, and also at Guy's Hospital also. Worked there for quite a while until I had animal protesters come down one night and had some problems. I was seen like a hero, and then was given a job as the main controller for Canon Security Services. I had to sit and answer a telephone and radios to over 150 security guards on duty all through the night, which was good. Then after that, I worked for Top Crime Prevention. I worked mainly at Dartford, where the jetty is, but then I went on to Shepperton Film Studios. Well, I worked for Top Crime Prevention, but in 1993, I was security guard looking after a big scaffolding on the outside in a big castle set of Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Worked there. It was absolutely fantastic. All these jobs that I had, all the experiences and knowledge I got, I even went on afterwards. It was about then what I started developing into my psychic side, because I went through traumatic experiences in my life. And I started doing self-employed psychic work, hands-on healing, clairvoyancy, mediumship, occult, voodoo. Then I was on a website called psychicnight.com. I started doing live on webcam, hands-on healing, face-to-face, and changed people's thought patterns through eye contact with a photo. I was eventually offered a job, but I turned that down because I was already in Great Portland Street, London, TV studios, doing mentoring people in psychic work and stuff like that. So I've had a hell of a lot of careers. And then nowadays, I've been stereotyped as mental simply because I suffered blackouts and memory problems due to the alcohol binge drinking over the years. But I get stereotyped and treated like a piece of shit. So I'm just basically airing this video as my own personal journal for when I eventually have a solicitor. Because I strongly believe when I'm evicted from this house, I'm just going to have to end up on the streets after 19 years of psychiatrics institutionalising my life. from the outside the hospital. I strongly believe everyone's going to just leave me in the shit, where I just have to go after Lake Street multi-storey car park and jump off a second floor like I did on Friday the 1st of April 2000. Back then I was on crutches for 2.5 years for smashing every bone in my Achilles heels, hairline fractures and stable and compound fractures in my back. And as doctor said to me, if you do it again, you'll most likely end up paralysed. But a lot of people end up homeless on the streets and they get murdered by other people because they're seen as pieces of shit. And if that happens to me, then I don't wish to be murdered on the street, so I jump off a car park and just have to paralyse myself, be referred back to psychiatrics, and a solicitor at a later date will say to psychiatrics, why the hell didn't you do anything about this before these events happened?